Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're taking a look at the DOGFISH Head. Let's Get Lost Whiskey. American single malt, 51% ABV. This is the second of two samples we were sent by, I would assume, the marketing team over at DOGFISH Head. They reached out to us, wanted to send us a couple whiskeys, so just to let everyone know, this is a sample. But hey, that does not mean I'm not going to tell you what I think about it.
And it's not sponsored, but we were given free whiskeys. So.
It was not sponsored. They gave us no money, but they gave us free whiskey. So yeah. I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
But if it isn't good, we're going to tell you. If it is good, we're going to tell you that too.
Yeah, well, we just had one that we were pretty positive on. So this one we're coming in, well, as the label says, Mike, let's get lost, because I have absolutely no idea what we're about to drink.
Yeah, I have no idea what we're about to drink. So all I know is this American single malt is 51% ABV. Comes from the DOGFISH Head Distilling Company. Let's get lost. Whiskey with an E. Whiskey with an E.
A very good topic for another day.
That's Americans. Always got to overcomplicate things. 3 ways to spell 2, 2 ways to spell 3.
We can't even decide if bourbon whiskey is with an E or not.
No.
Half the distilleries, well, the big guys at least, a third, go without it.
How many weeks can you spell 1? Anyway, let's get to the whiskey. Good color, Dustin.
Yeah.
Looks like either virgin oak cask or maybe some Spanish.
There might be some wine cask in here. I gotta say though, Mike.
Ooh, light.
I'm really struggling to get a lot off the nose here. It is very, it's fruity, light, sweet, but there's not much there.
Some light chocolate to it.
You're stretching there, I think.
Light cocoa. No, it's there, buddy.
I'm not saying it's not. You're working hard.
A little bit of spice.
I would have honestly just said it has like a wet oak sweetness kind of a thing. I'm not even gone chocolate.
Slight bit of honey.
I'm with you on the honey, actually. I think I can see where you're going there.
Buddy, this now is like a 454. It's getting all the air.
Yeah, I think water's going to help us to really get the nose broken down here, Mike. Because it's going to need something to help it. I think it's coming off a little closed off.
It is initially coming closed off, but it's starting to build. Moving around the glass. Yeah. I tell you what, I'm going to guess this has. I'm going to guess this has some sherry cask maturation in it.
It's definitely got wine cask of some sort for sure. So I'm going to break the rule of no shaky because, quite frankly, this whiskey needs an aggressive swirl here.
Yeah, but it's coming off a bit indistinct. Aside from that what I would guess is Oloroso sherry sweetness.
I'm not even getting the fruits, though, from like a sherry.
I agree. There's no dark fruits. Cinnamon, slight, it's some type of spice.
Yeah. I'm going to give up on the nose, Mike, and we're going to come back with water on this one. I'm going right in the palate.
Yeah, you're giving me nothing. A little bit of maybe a buttercream.
Ooh. Okay.
What are you picking up, Dustin?
Youthful, yet and assertive. Once again, they've got some kind of finish going on here that's... Wouldn't shock me if it's some kind of beer thing they've got going on here, man. It's adding some interesting citrus notes that kind of just come out of nowhere. I'm actually wanting to like stop and go look up what they've done here, because it's different. It's coming off as kind of a generic young single malt with an interesting fruity note, a little bit of punching. You know, given how that alternative takes had a really impressive mouthfeel and viscosity for 43%, this one's at 51%, and it's a little lacking. It's actually, it comes off like, at best, 51, and really I only pick up that because there's a bit of alcohol. It's a little aggressive.
Spice, lemon, citrus. Still a little bit of that light cocoa note in the background. Pretty indistinct still, I would say, on the palate. I'm struggling to figure out what the characteristic of the distillery is here. I would still say just a tad bit of light whipping or some type of light cream. Kind of here just here on the back end. I'll put a good little wop of water in here, see if we can't move some things around.
Wouldn't shock me if this is somewhat of a beer mash kind of malting that they're using. That's kind of heavy on, kind of like an IPA mash bill without the hops.
You think that because they're normally a beer company, and my mind keeps wanting to go to that too.
Well, it's also because, again, I'm not picking up much other than just kind of generic sweetness, lightness, but it does come off a little bit more. There's a little bit more of like a grain note. Well, I don't know. There's something about it that makes me think maybe they're using like 80 barley, 15 crystal malt kind of a thing.
All right, now with water, I'm picking up a little bit of red apple skin.
The nose is rapidly exploded with water, as I kind of thought would happen.
Mm-hmm. Red apple skin, definitely cinnamon now. The spice I was waffling, but it's cinnamon.
No question, cinnamon. Apple skin, I can see where you're getting that. I mean,
red apple skin.
Oh, it's definitely red.
It's a red crayon too.
It is absolutely a red crayon.
red waxiness. It smells a little hot on the nose now.
It's hot. You definitely pick up some barrel char. It's just some general oak notes. Very much like IKEA oak. It's not an antique store oak.
Yeah, the oak is a little thin.
Freshly made oak. It wasn't made a long time ago.
A little thin on the oak now.
Nice, just kind of generic, but still well done, like kind of sweet note at the finish.
Yeah, the sweet,
delving almost into lemon, marzipan-esque, if I dare say.
Slight funky honey. Overall, not bad. I'm searching a little bit with that honey note.
Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree with you. It's like maybe like a honeycomb cereal. Not that honey, but and it has a little bit of like grain cereal note to it.
You know what this whiskey is it keeps you guessing enough to where you keep digging.
I mean, there's nothing offensive. There's nothing you could possibly really dislike on this nose.
Yeah, no, the honey note's it's more predominant for me, and it's intermingled with the citrus note, which is not often the case. What's a bright note?
This is in general a bright whiskey. I think once you, especially with the water, it's very bright because usually when I hear cinnamon spice, I think dark.
Sure.
It's got a wallop of cinnamon up front, but the rest of it's very bright, very approachable. You don't get that very often in your Scotch whiskey. So I do like, again, this is American single malt. It's kind of going its own way, giving us a little different take. I'm definitely getting like that kind of like marshmallow, marzipan, like kind of thing there.
It feels like a little bit rougher of a spirit. Anytime you go with like single malt, only like malted barley, it's a rougher, grainier, grittier spirit. You got to sweeten it up to some degree.
This is aggressive. The spirit is definitely assertive.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, water helped this one big time.
Oh, it's getting more and more citrusy.
I always hate to try something, but hey, man, samples, that's what it is. You don't get a lot of time with it. I could see how if you let this sit at open air for a while, probably go a few other directions, spice come down a little bit.
Yeah, water definitely up the spice level.
For sure.
But the beautiful thing is with whiskey, guys, if you let it sit out on its own, it'll start getting the nose that you get with water, but it won't get the finish and those palate changes that you get with water.
Give it time.
So it's much better to give it time. For the review purpose, we're kind of rushing it. So I do think this one actually, if you give it that 15 minutes to open up, I think you'll have a beautiful nose on this thing.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Probably a fairly young single digit age.
Oh, yeah.
Single malt whiskey, probably 4 to 6 year old whiskey would be my guess. Still entertaining and fun.
Yeah, and I will say this, we didn't do the proper research here, guys, but we'll try to put it in the description. But if you go check out DOGFISH Head, from what I've seen so far, they're not bad about disclosure. They might not be the greatest in the world, but they're pretty good at disclosure. So they're generally going to tell you what you're getting. So definitely go check out their website so you can figure out exactly what's in here.
All right, Dustin. Score time, my friend, and let me go first. So the one we just did that was a 43%. What did I give, an 87 on that? This I don't like as much as the 43% one that we just had. I think that the number 4. So I am a little bit lower on this particular one. I'm at an 84 out of 100. Still isn't an awful score, but it's a few. This has potential. Spice a little bit too high for me on this particular one, and I need a little bit more oomph from the cask or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will say this: let's get lost in whiskey. This is different enough to where it's fun to pick it apart a little bit.
Yeah, if you pick this up, and again, I don't know the price on this one, but I assume
I have no idea.
It's going to be around the price of the alternative take, so under $100 for sure. So in that price range, when you're talking American single malts, there's not a lot of options.
Agreed.
And they're usually very regional, whereas DOGFISH Heads, they've got a pretty good distribution market, which is great. I'm at the same score, Mike. I was between 84 85. I thought you were going to, honestly, I thought you were going to say 85, and I'd be like, I'm going 84. But yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. If somebody pours me this, I am perfectly happy. I'm gonna absolutely drink it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm drinking this whiskey.
Yeah, I've got nothing negative to say about the whiskey. Like, that's kind of my strongest thing is maybe it's a little too spicy for you. It's a little youthful, but I don't think any of that's really offensive to the average person drinking whiskey.
I'll drink this whiskey.
Yeah, I think it's a non-offensive whiskey. It's a little not non-descriptive. It's lacking distinction. I know they've done something here finishing wise. I'm not sure what it is. I'm enjoying kind of the journey. I'm kind of enjoying being lost and trying to figure out what this is. But it's nice. It's nothing special.
Yeah, 8-4 still a good score. I agree. The alternative takes is definitely my preferred one of the two that we've just done recently.
Alternative takes is absolutely better.
Absolutely. So those are our thoughts on this particular whiskey. If you guys had a chance to pick this one up and try it, let us know what you guys think. Until next time, Dustin, what do we wish the folks?
Happy drinking.
We'll see you then.